Hello, and welcome to the Being Human podcast, where we explore what it means to be human, physically, mentally, and spiritually. We upload an episode of this podcast every single week, so whether you're new here or returning and you have not yet, hit that subscribe button. You do not want to miss any of these episodes. On this episode of the podcast, I sat down with Taylor Pearman. Taylor is a professional jiu-jitsu athlete. Earlier this year, Taylor won the ADCC European Trials, which means he punched his ticket to the ADCC World Championships, which is to be held in just a couple of weeks' time. I sat down with Taylor to talk about his journey to ADCC and then what is ahead in the coming weeks. In this conversation, we went through Taylor's whole journey in the sport of jiu-jitsu from the very beginning, the very start. Taylor was more of a gi player until last year, really. It was only a year before he won trials that he really started to dedicate himself to no gi. So we went into how he was able to make those adjustments, how he was able to become so adept and build a strategy in no gi that enabled him to win trials in such a short space of time. We talked about the differences between gi and no gi. Does training in the gi, competing in the gi, help your no gi game? Are the players that train and compete in both gi and no gi better, technically, than the guys that just do no gi? Taylor shared what it takes to win ADCC trials, what it takes to get to the top of the sport. He gave some great advice for up-and-coming grapplers, people that are aspiring to be where he is right now. Taylor also talked about his decision to compete clean in ADCC. Taylor considered going on steroids, taking steroids for his preparation for ADCC, as obviously that's what most athletes, I think it's fair to say, will be doing that are competing at ADCC. But ultimately, with the guidance of his strength conditioning coach, Taylor decided not to. So he talked about that decision, why he decided not to, and the potential effects, consequences, things to bear in mind when he will step onto those mats against athletes that are enhanced. We went into Taylor's whole preparation for ADCC. I think Taylor's got a great chance at winning the Worlds. It's obviously not an easy task, but he's shown himself to be able to pick up the no-gi game, to make adjustments, to build a winning strategy so quickly and do it so well and in such a dominant fashion that why doubt him? I really think he could do amazing things at ADCC and take that World Championship gold. So all the best to Taylor. We've got loads of big names in BJJ coming onto the podcast over the next few weeks. Other people that are either competing at ADCC or CJI. So if you're a BJJ fan, if you're here for the jiu-jitsu, make sure to hit that subscribe button. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. Thank you for supporting Being Human. The Being Human podcast is brought to you by Mr. Bassett's Grappler's Coffee. This is the strongest coffee I have ever had. I've had to reset when I actually take my coffee in the morning to ensure it isn't keeping me up at night because this is really potent stuff. But the taste is incredibly smooth. If you're a coffee drinker and a grappler, then you need to try Mr. Bassett's Grappler's Coffee. It's absolutely fantastic. It's going to get you firing on all cylinders. To give you the protocol, as it says on the back of the pack, drink half a cup before flow rolling, 1 cup before 6 a.m. open mat, or 2 cups to wrist lock, punch choke, and oil check everyone into oblivion. So if you want to be getting more wrist locks and oil checks on the mats, and let's be honest, who does not, you've got to pick up a bag of this, and all you need to do so is to head to MrBassets.com and use the code WAG10 to get 10% off your order. And make sure to pick up a bar of Grappler's Soap too whilst you're there. And now presenting Being Human with Taylor Pearman. So let's start at the beginning. Mm-hmm. When did you start training BJJ? What was your first experience? How did you find out about it?
Okay, so it was in 2011 I started, and me and my pal were playing, I think it was the UFC on the PlayStation, or we had, I can't remember which way around it was, or we had The Ultimate Fighter on DVD. We got it from like HMV or something like that, and we were watching The Ultimate Fighter, and I thought, MMA looks cool, and we were only 14 at the time. So I said, should we go for a class? It looks fun. So then I just typed in like MMA and culture stuff. And I went to a gym called Black Label, where my coach Alan was teaching the MMA class. But it was just basically, he was just teaching no-gi, but I didn't really know what jiu-jitsu was. I didn't go for that. I went for MMA. So, and then we showed up there, and there was a kid there, similar age to me. He was a year above me, but he was a bit smaller than me. and we were doing jiu-jitsu, and he just like beat me up so bad. Like he just destroyed me. I just couldn't do anything. It wasn't like he hurt me or anything. I just couldn't do anything. I was like, oh wow, this is really like good. This is fun. So I just wanted to stick with it after that.
Nice. How old were you then?
14.
14 years old. Yeah. So got in like not at the earliest age, but still like a fairly young age.
Yeah. Really in Colchester wasn't. Even then, it wasn't like I was. There was one other guy doing it in my whole secondary school, and he trained at the gym also. But he was a few years above me. He's actually my student now. He's a brown. He took a years off. He come back. He's a brown belt. He's good. Dom, his name is. But he was a few years above me in school, and he already trained. So when I came, I recognised him from my school. We were probably the only two people. I think the only two people in the entire school who trained or even knew what it was. That's like how it kind of was, Then, especially in Colchester, there's no. It wasn't like a scene like it is now. Well, everyone knows what it is now, But in 2011 they didn't. No.
Was it? So did you train MMA from the get-go, or did you after that first session was it pure jits?
Yeah, because I didn't know what jiu-jitsu was, and then I went to that class, and then I stopped training because I was doing kickboxing already at another gym, like a karate gym in Colchester, and I was doing kickboxing there, and I had been for a little while. And my mum said I couldn't have two memberships at two different gyms, too expensive. So I had to pick one. I was like, well, I really like the MMA, the jiu-jitsu. But I was like, I don't know anyone there. And it was like quite intimidating going in because I was just a kid. And this was like a kind of, like an old school kind of MMA gym where everyone was just meatheads, It was just a bit like...
Bit grimy.
Yeah, it was a bit intimidating. I was like, I don't know anyone there. Whereas at the other gym, the kickboxing gym, I'd done karate there when I was a kid. I kind of knew I was kind of comfortable. And I was like, you know what, I'll stick with the kickboxing because I know everyone there. I'll just stick with that then. And then like a month, 2 months later, I just come in for a kickboxing class and I saw on the mat the same kid who beat me up before in the other class. I was thinking, what's he doing here? And then I saw Alan. And Alan was like, man, you never came back. What happened? And I was like, I explained, and he was like, well, you're going to train now. And it was on the mat was like split in two, and he moved to that gym now. There was like a falling out at the other gym. I think the gym was closing or something like that. So he had to find a new space to teach, and he ended up being there the same time as me doing the kickboxing. And I went in for the kickboxing, and he was like, well, you're going to train now? I was like, oh, yeah. And then I just never stopped, I just sort of switched, and then that was it,
Oh, so it was meant to be.
Weird. If they never switched back to the gym, I probably never would have trained,
Yeah, that's interesting. Do you think you'd be a pro kickboxer now then?
No, what the fuck? Especially not training at that gym anyway. No way. It's not. That gym's not like a good gym, man. There's no way.
So what was the progression like then once you started picking it back up again? Were you really all in from the get-go? Did you start competing quickly? What was the journey like?
Yeah, like super quick. Because I kind of liked as well that the gym felt like a family as well, like a team. I liked that. I never had that. So I always did sports growing up. I was never good at any sports. And then I wasn't good at team sports either, like terrible at football, anything like that. So I never been like a part of a team, So it was like I did like a little bit of karate, a little bit of kickboxing, like I said, and a little bit of boxing. That's all individual, I didn't feel like you didn't feel like a family or anything. You kind of just showed up to class and did your thing and then left. This felt like a real team, like a family that would do tournaments together. So, and I liked the idea of that. When I saw that, I thought, oh, that's really cool. I want to do that. So, and the kid who beat me up as well, he was kind of like someone I was chasing as well. So I wanted to be like him as well, So whenever he would train, I would train. It was like when I first got into it was like right before the summer holidays of school. So it was like I had 6 weeks off right when I started training. So we would just train every day. Do you know what I mean? So whenever he would train, I would train. We'd go to the park, like Castle Park in Colchester, and we'd train on the grass. Then we'd go. One of our pals at the time who trained he lived in his mum had a flat right near the gym. Would go get little jigsaw mats and drill in the living room. Then we'd go to the gym, and like we were training a lot right away. And I competed probably within 2-3 months, like right away, straight in.
Do you remember that first comp?
Yeah.
What was it like? Do you feel like you were a natural competitor from the get-go?
Yeah, I'm very naturally competitive. Like I hate to lose anyway. I like competing, and I remember I won anyway. I remember there was no kids my size at the time, so Alan just grabbed someone from the crowd and said, "Do you want to compete another match?" Like, and he was a blue belt, and he said, "Yeah," and I armbarred him from close guard. But he was terrible, obviously. Like I was terrible, but I just jumped close guard on him and armbarred him. So I remember that right away. Yeah, but I was nervous, but I just, like you said, I enjoyed just being there. Like, it's the first time I ever actually competed in anything. So I trained in different things, and participated in sports, but I never actually done a competition in anything in my life ever. That was the first ever one, and I liked it.
Yeah, interesting. I mean, same thing for me, really. I was never good at football or any other team sports growing up. So I never had that competitive experience. But like you said, I'm naturally competitive myself. So that Firstjitscom, I mean, I had it much later than you, later teens. It felt at home. It was an enjoyable experience.
Yeah. It's obviously stressful, but then afterwards the feeling's so nice because I never had that. And I felt like I always wanted to excel in different sports, but I just never did. And I always wanted that feeling. I was always quite jealous and envious of people when they were. So it was nice then to get that little buzz you get, when you win. It was like a nice feeling. And I think that's just what you're constantly chasing.
Yeah,
that feeling, that high you get afterwards. It's a good feeling.
Yeah, definitely. It's a massive dopamine hit, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Work.
Yeah, it's just nice. You feel great for the whole day. It's like a good day out with the team, and you're all competing. It was nice. It's like it was good. It was really good time.
So around that time, were you aware of ADCC?
Yeah, so that was 2011. So that's when they had the ADCC in Nottingham.
Yeah.
And I remember, I didn't go to it or anything, but I remember watching the highlights on YouTube. Like this guy Stuart Cooper. Do you know Stuart Cooper?
No, I don't.
I think he's Northern, but he lives in Thailand, I think. But if you want to watch his videos, man, on YouTube, they're fucking really good. They're like he doesn't do them anymore, but he used to make the best jiu-jitsu videos, like the documentaries and highlights of ADCC. He used to make the best ones. He's really talented. But yeah, I think he's a black belt, definitely. I was actually meant to compete against him on a grapple fest like a few years ago, but I got injured or he got injured. I can't remember what happened, so it didn't happen. And he ended up facing Shane Fishman instead, I'm pretty sure. But he's decent black belt, like. And but yeah, he's based in Thailand now, I think. But his highlights were sick. So I remember watching that, thinking, "Oh wow, that was crazy." But when you look at the videos now, it's just like no one there. Basically, it's in Nottingham, no one's there. The event was really cool. You had like some great matches and stuff, but it's just empty compared to like what it looks like now. It's completely different.
Yeah, it's come a long way.
Yeah, huge.
Yeah. So I mean, watching that in 2011 as a 14-year-old, did you think then I'm going to be there?
Yeah, what? I thought that would be crazy if I could get there. For like right then, you got to think I was 14. So I remember Dom, the brown belt trainer me, who was a few years above me in school. I remember him telling me in class, he's like, "Yeah, I'm training now to compete in the English Open." And I remember thinking then, "Wow, man, I hope one day I can compete at the English Open." Genuinely, I remember thinking like, "Fuck, man, I hope one day I can just like be able to compete there." I remember thinking that was like my ceiling. I guess every time you reach the ceiling, you get a new ceiling. Just keep trying to.
That's it. Another mountaintop.
Yeah, I would say when I was maybe more later teens, like you said, 16, 17, I was like, right, I'm gonna try and get to the best.
Okay,
best
so
level in
it was
the world,
around that point.
Yeah, at the start, it was just like, oh man, I would love to just have that, to be able to compete at the English Open, to say I competed there. I think I've got like 14 golds from it now, like for a few years. But it's like when I started, that was just like for me the be all end all,
Yeah. So talk to me about that, not tipping point, but that time then when you around 16, 17, 18, and you thought, that's it, I'm really going to go all in. Where were you in terms of competition then? How much had you competed? What had your success been like? I mean, I'm assuming, were you a blue belt at that point?
Blue belt, yeah. I was training a lot, and I got sponsored. There was a brand, I don't know if it's still around now. It's called Fascia Preta now. Don't know if you know that brand. It used to be called Fascia Rua back in the day, and it was owned by, because we used to be Carlton Gracie team before, and the head coach from the London gym, he owned the brand, so he sponsored me. So I was sponsored, and I was doing quite well. And I went to the Europeans in Lisbon, in Portugal, the gi ones, and I won. It was juvenile, but I got gold. And then after that, I was sponsored, and I was training a lot, I think. And then by that point, I was like 15, 16, I knew I was going to pursue it as a career, and I wasn't going to do anything else. Like, I was fully committed to, if I had no money, I could just live in the gym. Do you know what I mean? Sort of thing, like kind of that mindset. It's a bit like retarded, but like in my mind,
it's the mindset you've got to have. Right?
Yeah, when you're a kid, you don't really know any better. But in my mind, I was like, right, I'll just do that. At least I can train every day. That's all I like to do. So nothing else really mattered to me at that time. And so I was about 16. I was like fully committed to doing that. And then I think just from there, I was like, right, I've got to just put all my eggs in this basket, I guess. So I've just got to aim high and try and do the best I can. But I was kind of content back then as well. I was like, right, I'll try my best to get to the top level, but if I can't, as long as I can make a living off it, I'd be happy. Like, as long as I never had to work a normal job, that was kind of like my goal. But then, yeah, I guess as I started doing better and competing more and more and more, I was like, well, I probably could do well. But all my focus was gi back then. You know, for the big majority of my life, I just trained gi really. And that was my focus, to win gi worlds.
Okay, so it was more on the gi side than thinking.
The gi was way bigger back in the day.
Yeah,
it was not like now. Now it's kind of flipped.
It's fallen out of favor, right?
Now it's completely flipped. Really, I feel like no gi's way more popular than the gi. The gi is still popular, obviously, but I feel like in the media and stuff, you don't really hear about the gi so much. People don't seem to care as much. People aren't getting paid as much. And to be honest, I think the gi is just too hard. In all honesty, I think it's unattainable for most people. Like, obviously you had Adam Virginski just won gi worlds, which is amazing, right? But like, he is like a freak of nature in that, like, everyone else just Brazilian. I think they're just so far ahead. When I competed against them, or I trained with some like really top level Brazilian guys, they were just so much better, and I was just like, I feel like it's unattainable.
Well, I mean, Brazilian jiu-jitsu in Brazil is like what football is here, right? If you don't start from 4 years old.
Yeah, and in the gi, in no gi, the Brazilians are still sick, obviously.
Yeah.
I think most of the ADCC champions were probably Brazilians still, but it's definitely more of an even playing field. Like, the Europeans are in there, the Americans are in there, you know, but in the gi, it's just like,
yeah,
you got Adam, then just all Brazilians, you know.
What's your perspective on why that is? Do you think it's because the Brazilians just start from such a young age in the gi, or do you think in no gi you can rely more on your athleticism? Do you think it's that?
I think it's just they just had it from, they just had longer to like understand how to make it work. You know, it's like they were doing it before us. It's like the Russians in wrestling; they just have a formula. They're just like, they've got it down. They've got the training program down, and Americans now have got that as well. And it's like, these countries have that. It's hard for other countries to catch up. I think it's just, maybe we're just a bit late to the party. Maybe. Yeah, in the gi, I think a bit late to the party. And then, you know, maybe I think in Brazil, I guess you have more people who don't have anything, so maybe they can fully commit to training more. Whereas here, it'd be difficult for like the majority of people to fully commit to training full time. You know, it'd be difficult to do. But I think in Brazil, maybe they have nothing, do they? They don't have any money, so I guess they just fully commit to that. They have some projects there in the favelas and stuff. But I think they just have, they just know how to train, I guess. They're just very good, man.
That's it. Once you've got a system established,
and I think that's just it is. They have that ingrained system for so long. They're just years ahead of us, you know. And that's what it seems to be. That's why the average guy is just better, you know. And they take it very seriously. The gi still. I feel like the gi in the UK now, the scene is just not the same as it once was.
Yeah, I think it's the come up of ADCC of people like Gordon Ryan, who is only no gi. Nicky Rod, who's only no gi. These are the people that are big on social media. Yeah, exactly. That's who, you know, casuals are seeing, and that's what's bringing them in. So they're coming in specifically for no gi. Yeah,
and with the rise of MMA as well, people then see that, and they want to train in grappling because that's what they see. They think like the gi's a bit like, oh, why would I want to do that? So if you get those sort of people in as well, and the media more pushes no gi, it just seems to be what people want to see. So they're going to push it, you know. Some of the gi events great, like last gi worlds was great, but just, I don't know. Maybe people care, but I don't really see it much. I don't think people care as much. I still appreciate it when I watch it. I'm like, wow, these people are amazing. And when you see the best guys in the gi, they're just unbelievable. And I can appreciate how hard it is what they're doing. It's harder than no gi, I think. Like, people will argue with me on this and say, no, it's not. But like, I do both. I've done both. In my opinion, no gi is easier.
Yeah, everyone high level that I've spoke to on this podcast has said exactly the same thing.
Yeah, it's definitely, in my opinion, they could say, oh yeah, no gi's this, that, but yeah, in my opinion, I switched because I thought I had a better opportunity to make it to the world level in no gi than gi. That's literally why I switched, because I was way on track with the gi, and then I had a close match with Tarza at no gi Euros. It was quite close, just one advantage in there, and I didn't feel like completely out of my depth there, and I weren't even training no gi at the time at all. And I was like, oh man, I think if I really focus on it, I can definitely get to ADCC. And that was a year before I won the trials.
Wow,
And I
okay.
fully switched then. But I'd always done it like once or twice a week.
Yeah.
It's not like I'd never done it.
Yeah.
Like I won Nogi Worlds before as a purple belt. But I never trained it. Do you know what I mean? We did all gi, and then the month before Nogi Worlds, I took the gi off for a month. And then I won Nogi Worlds, like IBJJF as a purple belt. So I always had maybe my game fit with Nogi more naturally, because I always did well in Nogi. But like if I trained with the same guy or fought him gi and Nogi, I'd usually always do better in the Nogi. I'd always beat him in the Nogi, or maybe we'd have a really tough round in the gi. If we trained Nogi, I'd always win I'd like dominate him, you know. So, but it was about a year before I won trials. I was like, right, I'm going to fully sack the gi off. Let's 100% dedicate. Let's see if I can get to ADCC. And
that's a real testament to the old school philosophy that if you train in the gi, it's going to make your no-gi better. Because I think that, as well, that school of thought died down for a while, and people said no-gi and gi are two complete separate sports, which I suppose they are.
They are. Yeah, they definitely are. I definitely think they are. But gi you can see who did more gi and who did more no-gi, like growing up, just because of their styles. I think like the people who come from a gi background, they really did much better off their back. Like I'm not talking about like sit-up guard, but like when they like play supine, like with their back flat on the mat, you see like people like Levi, Langaka, me. These people, there'll be more. Mikey. These people all come from gi backgrounds, and they play flat back on the floor and pummel the legs and stuff, and they have like a hard guard pass. Whereas if you look at people who just done no-gi, most of the time they're very sit-up guard orientated, and their guard retention is not that good. They're usually much better like playing inside position and being really tight with the hooks. But if someone starts like passing them side to side, they're usually not so good at retaining guard. They usually get the guard pass quite easily. Whereas you see then the people who come from the gi, they're happy to pummel legs and they have better guard retention generally. So I think you can see gi gives you that, because in gi you don't really play like sit up as much. You play like more on your back, like De La Hiva, spider guard, collar sleeve. It's all on your back. You know, you do obviously can play sit up guard and play shin to shin, but it's less common. I'd say you'd see more people play flat on their back. So I think that's what it gives you more. I think if you just train gi though, it's hard. You have to adapt to no gi. It took me like a year. It took me like maybe just under a year to fully adapt, and I had to cross train with a lot of good no gi people so they could leg lock me, and have to learn this completely. It took me a while. It took me probably 6 months to really switch it, and then I could improve. But it took like that year. I was like, right, it's going to take me about a year probably to just switch my game, because my game in the gi was like lapel guard and stuff. So how can I do that? You can't do that.
Yeah.
So I had to fully like switch and find what worked for me and what to do. And it took me about a year to do that.
Let's go into that process, because like you said, you had that close match with Tarza a year before trials. Your focus had been completely on gi, and then you start focusing on no gi, and within a year you accomplished like kind of the ultimate no gi goal, apart from obviously
I'd say it's actually probably just over a year, actually. Just over a year. Yeah, maybe a year and a few months,
Yeah, because, I mean, how many of your subs were heel hooks in trials?
6.
So all 6 were heel hooks, right?
Yeah.
Obviously no heel hooks in the gi.
Yeah.
So talk to me about that whole process. Who did you train with? What principles did you focus on? I mean, obviously it's clear to see that you focused a lot on heel hooks, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, go into that a bit more.
Well, the main issue for me switching from gi to no gi was the leg locks. I always had quite decent attacks, like a good straight foot lock. I had a few like sloppy heel hooks and stuff I could get, but I was always all right on the legs, but my defense was terrible, because my team, like ZR in general, and all my teammates, all my training partners, were all gi guys, really. So I didn't have anyone to train with who was like slick on heel hooks, no one. Do you know what I mean? I was the best, like, on the legs, do you know what I mean? So at that point, I was not that good on legs. So it's like, I had no one to really test me, to put me there. So I was like, well, I have to that's the main issue. Like, I would do no-gi competitions, I'd win. And like, I fought Ona Flanagan a few times, just heel hook me quickly. And I was like, there was like not even any defense for me at all. I didn't know what to do. Like, someone would put me in saddle and I'd be like, oh, it's fucking game over. Like, just tap. Like,
really? That's what it was like?
I just didn't know what to, I was just like, oh, I just can't do anything. I'm finished now. Whereas now, it's just like nothing like that, obviously. But it's like, back then when you have no defense, you're just like, no, I'm fucked. finished. So I was like, right, that needs to be addressed if I'm going to be able to win trials. Because even if you do them or don't do them, you need to be able to defend them. You have to be knowledgeable on them, even if you don't like to attack them, just in case you get like wrapped up by someone who just wants to play on legs, you know, because then you get that guy who comes on top, just drops back on the leg. You need to be able to deal with that, you know. So that was my main issue, because I always had good guard retention and stuff, and like I was like, right, I'm confident a lot of people wouldn't be able to pass my guard, especially when I sharpen that up, and always had a decent top game, good on the back, good at getting the back, and I was like, right, that's just the main thing I focused on. So I went to train at London Grapple a lot, trained with Owen Flanagan a little bit, trained with Owen Jones was helping me a lot with my leg locks, like teaching me them, like properly how to do it, not just like grabbing it and just ripping it, like just like actual technique, you know. And then I was like trying to train, I was going to London Grapple quite a bit, because they're just like they have gi as well, but they had like a no gi comp open mat, and people there were helping me a lot. And it was just like every week I'd improve and get better and better. I did loads of leg lock specific rounds. But still now every session we do like a leg lock specific, starting in entanglements, just to like keep sharp on the defense, you know. It was like a real long process of doing that.
At what point, because like you said, really your focus was on, I need to learn how to defend against these.
Mm-hmm.
At what point throughout this preparation, throughout this process, did you get to the point where you were like, this is a winning strategy for me. This is no longer a weakness. Mm-hmm. This is a strength.
Well, yeah, because Owen was mostly showing me, Owen Jones was mostly showing me the attacks. So when I got like some basic defense down, I was like working on the attacks, because ideally I wouldn't just get entangled and get attacked all the time. I'll be the one attacking, you know, especially when you're a guard player, you're probably more likely going to be initiating the attacks. I think if you're on top, you're probably going to get attacked more, and I play naturally more on the bottom. So I was like, right, let's develop some attacks, and I was getting better and better attacks, like week in, week out. And then I remember the first trials, I've only done 2 ADCC competitions in my life. The first trials in Warsaw, which was last year, and then the trials I won this year. So they're the only 2 times I've ever competed ADCC Rules, like ever. And the first trials I did, I lost in the quarterfinals, so it was the 5th match. And I was playing more on top, like I was passing everyone and getting their back and finishing them and stuff. And then I lost to a sweep in regulation. I was like, fuck, that's stupid, man. So I was like, right, this time I'm not going to do anything silly like that, like give up 2 points for what? I'm going to play guard. I didn't think anyone in the division could pass my guard. So I was like, right, as long as I can pull guard, no one's going to be able to score on me. That's what I was thinking. So then how are they going to tap me? To tap me from top, they're either going to drop back on legs, which I was confident then I could win that exchange, or they're going to have to pass me and tap me, which I didn't think they were going to do. So in my mind, I was like, right, I'm not going to get tapped and I'm not going to get scored on if I manage to play from the bottom. And a lot of my training was to be able to, I don't know if you know ADCC rules much, but you have to, like, when you go to overtime, you have to shoot a takedown, like hold on to the takedown and then pull. All my training was for that, and none of my matches have gone to overtime.
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask. Yeah. What was the thinking if matches went to overtime?
Yeah, so much of my camp was drilling, like practicing live and sparring, like getting to the takedown, like winning good upper body positioning to get to a single and then like pull properly and stuff. Because that was just like the full game plan. Like I was super confident no one would be able to pass me. So I was like, how can they beat me unless I give up a negative or I get taken down? That's the only 2 ways I thought they could beat me. But yeah, I've had 11 ADCC matches so far, and none have gone to overtime.
Yeah.
So.
And you've got the strategy in place for that anyway, so you're confident.
For ADCC, yeah. I do turtle training every day.
Yeah.
I do a lot of turtle training. Yeah, I like playing from there. So yeah, I've been practicing that a lot. Still from the trials and now up until ADCC, constantly just working that, just in case, because a turtle in ADCC rules negates everything.
Yeah.
You get swept, your turtle. You get taken down, your turtle. You get passed, your turtle. Anything, you can just shut down their score if you turtle. So you have to have a good turtle. That's what I realised the trials that I lost, because I swept the guy and he instantly turtled, and I had his back for ages with just 1 hook. Just couldn't get the second hook, man. I just dominated him and he still beat me 2-0. I was like, fuck, just because he had a sick toe, I just could not get 2 hooks on his back. I was just all over him, like 4 minutes, or was it 5 minutes 30 of the 6 minute match. I'm just completely all over him, and he just scored like a sneaky 2 on me. And I was like, how has that just happened? So I need that for ADCC. That was like a lesson for me. I was like, right, okay, I need to work on this as well. I need that. Have that in the locker, you know.
Yeah, that's a very smart approach. It's just so the ADCC rule set to just a casual looking in. I think I was like the same game. Like it's no
I don't
different.
even know the rules. Still, I have no clue of the rules. I'm not even. I'm being dead serious. I have no clue. Like, genuinely,
Yeah.
I'm just.
Yeah, I'm not
I have
going
some
to
idea.
pretend like I'm an expert on them.
I have some idea, but if someone like when I see something, I'm just like, what? I some people say some rules to me. I'm like, fuck, I know. You're lucky you said that because I had no idea. But I didn't know when you got bridge from mount. That's 2 points. I didn't realize that. I saw it at the last trials. Afterwards, I heard that I think Cam Donnelly lost like that. He was in mount on the guy, mounted him in the no points. And the guys, when the points is coming, bridged him over just 1-2-0. I had no clue that was a thing. I was like, fuck. It was probably should have researched that.
In the split between the first half of the match, no points, second half of the match, points, it throws you so much.
It's hard. You can't give them all your beans at the start unless you're going to finish them, because otherwise, you're fucked. You give all that effort for nothing. I've seen many people lose like that. Like, unless you know you can tap them, it's just too risky. I'd rather just cook them, to be honest. Yeah. But I like the no points at the start, because then you can just pull and not worry about getting taken down or anything. I can just play guard the whole thing, So, yeah.
So, first trials, get to the quarterfinal. Like you said, got swept, lost on the 2.
Yeah.
Second trials, what was the mindset going in? What was the preparation going in? Did you do like a camp? Because this didn't really used to be a thing in jiu-jitsu, right? People didn't do camps like they do in MMA. They just competed a lot, stepped up the training a bit maybe. But now people talk about, my ADCC Trials camp, my camp for Grapple Fest or Polaris. Is that your kind of mindset?
I think a camp is just you change up, I guess, how you're training, like focusing on specific rule sets and doing like specific situational training for that event, like depending on the rules. Like I said, like we're doing like loads of turtle rounds and stuff like that. That's part of it. But I flew to Poland, to Koszalin, to train with Szyszynski, Mateusz Szyszynski. He's a good friend of mine. And Santiri was there, Santiri Lilius, who won he won my division, the one I lost. Right, he won that. So he's a good friend of mine as well. We were training there. There was a bunch of us there, man. There was a bunch of the Polish lads there. We went there to train for a week, and then had a hard week of sparring there, just like sharpen everything up. And then we do that all the time. Like I just came back from Malaga. We just had another one for ADCC as well. It was really good.
Who were you with in Malaga?
Same boys, basically. It's just like me. It was me, Owen Flanagan, Santiri, Mateus, Marcin, who won the 99, and like 40 Polish blokes. It's a hard graft, But like we do them a few times a year, to be honest. All get together and train just to like help each other and get better. It's always good. Then I went to Germany to train with Dima and Owen. Dima was there. Marcin was there also. There was a few other guys. I don't know if you know him. Liam Alpang was there. I don't know if you know him. He's a Swedish kid. It's good. There's a bunch of us there as well. So I had like 2 weeks away, but a lot of it was just at home, training like here, there, and everywhere here. But I always make sure to get away to get like good hard sparring and like other top competitors.
What about on the S&C side of things? Do you put a lot of emphasis on that?
So I never did my whole life. I've always done it a bit on and off. Sometimes I'd be on a schedule. Sometimes I wouldn't. I needed someone to work out with me. So I had my training partner, James, at the time. James Costa, his name was. We would lift weights twice a week together. We had like a coach and everything. And then he would like be lazy and stuff. And then I couldn't do it on my own, man. I hated it, But then like I said, when I switched to no-gi, I was like, right, I'm going to fully commit to full training, because I just left the gym I was teaching at the time, so I had nowhere to teach, nowhere to earn money, and in a way that was really hard. But then it gave me loads of free time to like just focus on the training, So my missus had to like fund me doing that, whilst I was looking. But I have my gym now. It was in the process when I was trying to open that, and I had to wait like a year to do that. So in that year, I could just fully commit to training, So then I started doing online training with Charles. You know Charles?
Charles
Price.
No, I don't know.
Okay, he's owner Flanagan's guy as well, the coach, the lifting coach. As I saw, he was helping Owen Flanagan lift, and Owen Jones was lifting with him at the time as well. And Owen said, "Why don't you come for a workout?" Meet Charles. I met him, liked him. I was doing the online program. I was like fully dedicated. I was like, right, I'm going to hire him to help me. I was doing it like online and stuff. And then invited me in for a session. So why don't you come in for a session? Let's fix like your form and bits and stuff, because I've never done it properly, So then we did it, and then I couldn't obviously afford to have PTs with him, like one-on-one or anything like that. But it was really good. I really I got a lot from it. And then he was like, the kid Harry wants to split the PTs if you want to do it. And he gave us like we worked out a deal where we could like all afford it and go to London. So I go to London a few times a week, to lift for Charles still. And that was like from end of 2022, I started doing it seriously. And I've been lifting, so I do 3 times a week, S&C. I do it twice with Charles in his gym.
And what kind of style is that? Is it a lot of bodybuilding movements like Gordon does, or more like big compounds?
I wish. It's just like, it's a full body workout, basically. You warm up. We do like a warm up, and then we'll do plyometrics, big lift, like big compound lift, like deadlifts or squats. And then we'll do chest and back, shoulders, and single leg stuff. If it's on a squat day, we do, if it's a squat day, we do hamstrings, like the reverse hyper or something. And then if it's a deadlift day, we're doing like walking lunges or something with weights. And then we'll do arms, neck, everything. It's heavy, man. It's long. Yeah. It's like 90 minutes to 2 hours. Brutal, man. But it helped me like so much. It was like the thing I was missing was that, I think, for me. It just makes you a better athlete. I'm so much stronger now, bigger, stronger, more athletic, less injury prone. Yeah, so that was like a whole part of it as well, like fully sacrificing, training with all the best people I could, training as much as I could, taking care of like all the S&C, like you say, not being lazy anywhere, not cutting any corners. And I felt like that year between 2020, so the start of 2023 to the start of 2024, I just went like this in level, like it just completely changed. I fully I could see myself with people I trained with my whole life, me just fully, completely dying away from them, just in skill level, everything, just because I was doing all the right things. I just had no responsibility either, so I could fully just focus, So it was a hard time for me, but it was the best time for me. I think that really helped me.
So all of that, going into the second trials, you talked a bit about the changes in strategy, but just talk to me about that, the mindset going in, what the plan was. Did you, obviously it was a best case scenario, but did you expect, like in an ideal scenario, that's how it was going to go? Sub everyone with your books?
Honestly, in the gym, I was looking, I've trained with really good people in the gym, man, and I've just like smoked like world-class people in the gym, and I was thinking, man, and like Owen Jones was saying to me, it's like, how are you not winning, sort of thing. That's kind of, I think, what everyone was kind of thinking. Because in the gym I was doing one thing, then the comp I would just lose to like a silly thing, and I was just like, fuck, man, why can't I do it? If I could just compete how I trained, I'd just definitely win. And I was confident, man, going in, but I was confident just because of all the preparation I put in. I fully just given everything. And I felt really, really good up until like a day or two before. Then you start making excuses in your head. I was like, it's okay if you lose and stuff like that. And I had to like fucking talk myself out of it. Like everyone goes through that, I think. But then on the day, I felt ready, man. Felt really calm, collected, ready. Felt like I was just going to smash everyone, to be honest. And I felt like on the day, it was a really hard day, like mentally. But on the mat, it wasn't difficult, to be honest. Yeah, I felt the day was pretty easy.
Yeah. Absolutely smashed it.
Couldn't
have gone better.
It couldn't have gone better. Yeah, I said that. Wow, that's just like, couldn't have gone any better if I tried. Yeah, it was good. Yeah, mentally it was very draining and very hard, because I don't know if you've been to trials before, but it's like obviously American trials over 2 days because there's so many people. So you say there's like 250 people in the division, but like 240 of them suck. Yeah. You only have 10 good guys. It's like, and then they have 7 matches. But because there's so many, and we have 7 matches also, but because there's so many people, they have to break it up into 2 days. So you do 3 matches or 4, then you sleep, rest, you come back fresh the next day. Well, not fresh because you're still going to be a bit sore, but at least you come in like fresh. With European trials, like a marathon, man. You start at like 9, 10 in the morning, you don't finish till 9, 10 at night. Yeah. You do it all in one day. And it was just
is that how long your day was with those 6 matches?
Yeah, I think by the time we got back to the hotel room, man, it was probably like 11 p.m. I think. It was after interviews and stuff, maybe late, maybe midnight or something. It was late, I remember it was like, it was super long because you have one match, then you have to wait 3 hours. Then you have your second match.
Oh, really? I didn't know
because
that.
Because they only do one map per division. You got to think, you got 150 in your division or whatever.
Oh, wow.
You
Yeah,
do,
no, I didn't know
and
that.
these matches can go overtime. So you're here, bang, one match. Then you have to wait the whole bracket. So the first match is you wait two to 3 hours. Could be, it could be more, could be less, but it's like 2 to 3 hours roughly. Next match, 2 to 3 hours. It's like you just constantly. You think that's a good thing because then you can fully give everything and recover, but then it's handling the adrenaline is the hard bit, going up and down the whole day. Like you've competed.
Yeah,
you know how even if you go into a comp, you have 2 easy matches. The next day, your body's fucked.
Yeah.
You're like, man, just because the adrenaline, just because everything's so heightened so much, so you've got to do that the whole day, and it's brutal. Then, as you start, I think as you get to like the quarters, it's like one match for like 5 minutes. I remember I had a match with Linus, who's a German guy. He's Demon's student actually, so he's a friend of mine. I fought him in the quarterfinals, and then I had Anna Majinski within 5 minutes. I just not even 5 minutes. They had that match. They're like, right. I was still just come off the match room, so they're like, right, tell you your next match with Adam. I was like, mate, the sweat's still pouring off me from that match. I was like, I haven't even stopped sweating. It must have been 3 minutes, and they were like, I was like, is there anything you can do? And they're like, nah, nothing we can do. And Adam was kind of like, I think Adam even felt a bit guilty. He was like, oh, fuck. Like, so, as you can see, I literally just stepped off the mat. There was one match between us, but that match was like over like that. I was like, man, fuck, what? I have to fight the hardest match now after I've had no rest. But luckily it wasn't that bad.
Yeah.
I think they maybe give me like another minute or two, but they're like, you got to go. And I was like, fuck it. But and then after you do those few matches, then between the finals, you have a few hour wait again. So it's like you have long wait, short wait, then long wait at the end. It's just brutal, man. And then you're sitting there anxious as fuck. They're setting up the mats for the finals, and then they do the finals. I think they do the girls first, then the 66, 77, or something like that. They like do it like that, and everyone's watching. And yeah, it's like it's scary as well. It's more scary because your dream is right there. You can see it. And it's like so close to touch. You can taste it. And then it's like, fuck. Imagine if I fuck this up now. Imagine I was just thinking in my head. Imagine if I had the day like I've had, and I fuck this up now. You don't have days like this all the time. This is like a crazy day, But I felt really confident. I was just thinking in the back of your mind, just like, imagine I fuck this up now. Imagine I just lose it.
Any tips on how to manage that? Because I mean, that's the thing, right? That's what everybody that goes and competes, that's whether it's the ADCC Trials or local grappling industries, about to step on the mat and you're like, you can like you say, you can taste that gold medal, you can taste that win, and you're like, what if it doesn't go that way? How do you manage it?
I was just trying to think about it, like trying to be like logical. I was thinking, right, if I do this, how can he beat me? I'm better than him everywhere. I know I'm better than him here. I know I'm good at this place. I was just trying to think of it like, take emotion out of it, take the adrenaline out of it, think about it like not scientific, but like, right, I have this, I'm going to do this. If I do this, he can't do this. I know what he's good at, I'm going to avoid this. I was just really thinking about it, like trying to dial in and being like, thinking about it like an athlete, like a sportsman, not trying not to get emotional, because when we were warming up, Ben's a very emotional person who I fought in the final. He's just like pacing up and down and getting really into it. And I was just trying to stay calm. I was like, right, if I start getting sucked into this is how you get tired. This is how you make bad decisions. It's like, if I just really try to focus on what to do, and take emotion out of it, take the adrenaline, take the fight out of it. I don't want to be a dog in this fight. I don't want to act like a dog. I want to win. Do you know what I mean? So I was like, just trying to think of it like a systematic approach. I think that really helped me. I was like, right. And if you watch me in the match, I'm dead calm, and he's like really hyper aggressive, hyped up. And then I think that's why he started to fatigue really quickly. And I was completely fine because I was just like, I have 12 minutes. I was like, I can definitely catch you in 12 minutes. That's what I was thinking. And then when the match started, I'm just like taking in the data, I guess. Like he's being super aggressive. Instantly, that tells me you can't be aggressive for 12 minutes. How hard he came out, like pushing, jumping, like kind of spazzing side to side. You can't do that for 12 minutes. No one can. So I was like, right, if I just remain calm, he's not going to pass my guard like this. There's no way. To pass my guard in Nogi, you've got to be really, really good at passing. You can't just blitz me like that. It's not going to happen, So, and I was just thinking, over time, he's going to fatigue. And when he fatigues, I'm going to get him. So I was just like being super calm, just thinking systematic. I think if you yeah, if you get sucked into that emotional battle, that's when you're going to get fucked. I think it's honest. You have to just be dialed in, think about like what makes positions work. How can I stay safe? Keeping like my knees to my chest, I staying focused, staying tight with everything. And I think, yeah, just thinking like that helped me control the nerves.
I mean, especially over a long day like that, even if you have, even if it's sub-only show and you have one match, you go in super aggressive, you're really overly hyped up beforehand, you're going to have a big adrenaline dump, you're going to gas in that match. But when you're doing it all day, that's amplified, right?
Yeah.
I mean, on the physical side of it as well, you've got 3 hours between matches. Are you trying at all to stay warm, or are you just letting yourself cool down and go through a warm-up?
No, yeah, I have to cool down, warm up again. Like, luckily, one of my mates, Tom Barry, a Welsh guy, he not luckily, but he lost like third or fourth match. After that, he was there with me every match, helping me warm up, rolling with me, and I like to warm up like that because I can't warm up doing star jumps or sprawls or shit like that. I have to like just go on the mat, flow, like just warming up, always helping me break a sweat between every match. He would help me, and we would just like I was kind of like just repping the stuff I'll be using and just like stuff like that. But it was hard, man. The next day, honestly, because I didn't sleep, I had so much adrenaline. I've never had that before. The adrenaline, I just couldn't physically switch off, mate. Like we had a flight at 6 a.m. or it was like 7 a.m. flight, 6 a.m. flight out of Croatia. And I remember just getting in, me and my teammate Tommy just got like some food, and then we got in at like midnight, 1 a.m. and I just sat there, just like on my phone, just like some. And by 4 a.m, everyone was like, right, we've got to go to the airport. 4 a.m, we had to go to the airport. So I just didn't sleep. I was just there. Like, I didn't sleep for like 2 days. Yeah. My body was just in agony. Yeah, genuinely. Wow. I didn't sleep till the next night. Do you know what I mean? So it was almost like 2 days, man. Yeah. And even then I had like a bad sleep. It's just the adrenaline was so much, after it all.
I mean, you must have been buzzing, right? So yeah, it's elation as well.
Yeah. It wasn't, it's just a weird feeling. Just there, you just can't switch off, mate. It's horrible.
So you get back home, you're the ADCC Trials winner.
Yeah.
On Instagram, you put lifetime goal achieved, something to that effect.
Yeah.
But then right away, it's to the next one, like you said, the ceiling keeps going. Now you're going to ADCC Worlds.
Yeah.
What was did you go straight back into kind of hard training as soon as you got back?
Yeah, straight back into training on the Monday. I think I got back I think I left I think it was on the Saturday. I can't remember if it was on the Saturday. I don't remember. But I definitely would have trained today, the next day. Yeah, for sure, Always been that way. Yeah. I like training, do you know what I mean? And this is like what I do for a living, so this is what I do for fun. It's what I do for a living.
It's what you'd be doing either way.
Yeah, for sure. So just come in. But I remember being super sore. But I remember training like right away. I don't like to take holidays and time off. I don't need to because this is what I enjoy doing. Obviously, the intensity calms down and I can have more fun in training, where instead of being like a robot, just trying to kill everyone, I'm like playing and like being more playful. But I love training. It's my favorite thing to do in the world. I'd rather do nothing but train. That's so. For me, I just like get back to it, teach my students, just get back to work, and that's it. And then obviously after time passed, then I started focusing on ADCC. I had like a lot of seminars after. I was super busy, man. I'd train like Monday to Thursday, Friday. Then I'd travel to another country for the weekend. I'd done that, man, for like 3 months. It was obviously cool, but man, that was fucking brutal.
Because when was that second trials that you were? March? Was that March?
Something like that. Yeah, February, March. Yeah.
So you had like 5-6 months until ADCC.
Yeah, I had like 3-4 months of just traveling basically. Okay. Every weekend.
Yeah. So
I've done like 30 seminars, I think.
Okay.
Yeah, so it was like a lot.
Wow. Yeah.
And a lot of them were in other countries, so.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a lot, man. Every weekend. It's obviously nice to train with different people, meet different people. It's a good way to earn money. But mate, I know it sounds easy, but it's getting on a plane every week, getting on a plane every weekend, and then it's like you're not just training with them. You also then hang out with them. They have to go out for dinner with them. It's just you just get no time. Then I'll come back on the Sunday night, then back to work Monday. It's just like that for months. Yeah. But it was nice. Got a new car. I got a new car, so. My car's nice now, so I got things. I got some nice stuff. I got some money saved up, so it's all good. Yeah, can't complain.
So, I mean, how many weeks away are we now? We're only 2 or 3 weeks.
3 weeks.
3 weeks. 3 weeks.
3.5 weeks, I think. Now.
Yeah.
Or 3 weeks. Yeah, 3 and a bit weeks. Yeah.
So, how long has your camp been? When did you go into camp?
I don't know, no start date really, but like over a month now, I'd say I've been really focusing in. Go to B team on Monday.
Okay.
To train in the States for the last few weeks. And then, yeah, from there to Vegas.
Any particular reason why you chose B team?
Yeah, I was going to go to Rouse, but Jason Rowell, but he's just had back surgery, so he couldn't train. So I was like, I probably won't go there. And Deemer asked me to go to B team. Owen's there now.
Yeah.
So Owen's there. My student Tariq, who one of my best students, but he moved to New Zealand. He's there now. He's come to Vegas to watch ADCC. Come with me. So he's like gonna do. He's just gonna come because it's so far. He's just gonna train in the States for a bit. So he's there. Deemer asked me to come. Owen's there. I have a bunch of friends there at B team anyway, who I know I've trained with before. They sorted me out with someone to stay, so it made sense, you know.
And going into ADCC, let's go into it now.
Mm-hmm.
What's the strategy? Is it the same strategy as trials? I mean, obviously, don't. Yeah, I'm sure.
No, there's no secret, man.
Yeah.
Just kill or be killed, man. Put on a good show. I think people care about more how you win than if you win. Do you know what I mean? So like, you just have to perform well. I'm just gonna go in, try and tap everyone, and then that's it. Hopefully, then people like it, people enjoy it. I think that's the main thing. Because you can win ADCC in a boring way, and honestly, no one will care about you.
Yeah.
But then you could lose first round, but you could have a sick performance, and everyone's like buzzing off you, you know. So it's in your best interest for your career and for everything to just leave it all out there, kill or be killed, be exciting for people to watch, and then you can start to you get more opportunities. You know, more money, more opportunities. People want to learn from you. So I think I'll just go out there and die. Just give everything.
Yeah, well, that's what I was going to talk about. You said that there, kill or be killed. And the other interviews I've watched of you recently, when you're talking about the division, the matchups, it seems to me like the answer to this next question is going to be, I don't know, and I don't give a fuck, I don't care who it is. But I was going to ask you, do you have an idea of like who your best match in the division is, and who's your quote-unquote worst match, someone that you think will be difficult for you stylistically, and someone that you think is going to be very good for you stylistically?
Man, there's really good people in there. Isaac Michelle was a tough match for anyone. I think he's one of the best. Him and Giancarlo, I think, are the two top boys in the division. I'd say they're the two top best ones, in my opinion, from watching. And I've trained with Giancarlo before. He's very good. Them two are like the ones where you're like, okay, they're going to be a handful for anyone.
Returning champ as well. He's got the wind in his sails.
Yeah, he's very good, man. So well-rounded. Same as Isaac. I mean, they're just both very well-rounded, which makes them very good. They're very big, very strong, very well-rounded. They're going to be a problem for anyone, you know. So, match was good for me. They put out like the brackets what they feel they might be. It could be me versus Couch, could be me versus J-Rod, or me versus Elder Cruz. That's what they put. What they think, what Flo think will be seeded as.
Against J-Rod?
Potentially.
Did he not go over to CJI?
No.
Did he not?
No.
Oh, I thought yeah.
No. So, ideally, I would like to not be against J-Rod, if I'm going to go there and train with him. But,
oh, yeah, of course.
Johnny, it'd be a bit weird, but I don't know what we're going to do about that. If we're going to train together, and I'm not sure. But Couch would be a nice one. Be like two guys who like to hunt legs, so it'd probably be quite interesting. I think Elder Cruz would be a fun match to watch because he's a heavy top wrestler who likes to pass. I'm a guy who likes to play guard. I think that's a good match for everyone to watch. It's a classic guard player versus passer. You know, it's not what we don't both like the same thing. He doesn't like to hug legs and play on legs. He hates that. So he's gonna be trying to smash and pass me and wrestle me. I'm gonna be looking to counter that and tap him out. You know, so I think that's a cool match for everyone to watch. Hopefully, I get Elder Cruz. I think that'll be a sick match.
No.
Yeah.
I mean, what are your thoughts briefly on CJI? Do you think that's I mean, obviously I appreciate you're going to B team, so you're not going to go and say, oh, it's a terrible thing.
No.
It's a good thing. What do you think?
Well, obviously, it's a shame it took some shine off ADCC the year I'm doing it. So obviously, that's a bit of a shame. But, man, we're getting paid now. We're getting paid. We're getting our own rooms. We're getting treated better than what we were before. I'm not saying that we weren't getting paid.
In response to CJI? Okay.
Yeah, because we weren't getting any money before and we were going to have to share rooms before. Because obviously, CJI don't pay for your hotels or flights or anything like that. I know that. They pay you your money, but I don't think they pay you anything else. I'm not sure. I'm pretty sure they just pay show money and everything else. Whereas then ADCC pay for your flights, accommodation, whatever. But I know before CJI, we weren't getting paid anything, and we had to share rooms. Now we're going to get our own room, and we're getting paid show money, which is nice. So
yeah, so that's a good thing.
It's a good thing, yeah. And I think now that will never change. Now they can't go back on it now. So I think it's always gonna be a good thing for everyone. I think the only thing that's a shame is it might split how many people watch it. But I know Craig's done it Friday and the Saturday, and ADCC Saturday Sunday so people can watch both.
That's it. He structured it in a way where it hopefully shouldn't take away from the view on the fan side.
I saw a video today that he said he's done it on the Saturday when ADCC starts. ADCC starts on 10 a.m. CJI doesn't start till 5 p.m. So he's like letting you. He said there may be a bit of clashing, but like not. You can definitely watch both, which is nice.
Yeah.
You know, so which is good. I think if it was directly on the same days and times, that'd be a shame. You know, but I think, man, I don't know. I think the athletes have kind of lucked out really with this now, because now we're getting paid, man. So I'm happy with it, man. I wasn't getting paid before, so I'm not going to complain. You know,
I think more competition is always a good thing, and I think obviously it's benefited the athletes, like you've just said, but I think from the fan side as well, it's created more of a buzz around both
it's like some weird TV drama, but in real life, you know. I think there's never been more eyes on jiu-jitsu than now. So I think it's all in all, it's a good thing. The rivalry is like, it's cool, it's good.
Yeah, and I'll compare it to this. It might not make sense, but a few weeks ago, I had the TV on. I was flicking between Wimbledon and one of the Euros games. I can't remember which one it was. I was just flicking between them, like seeing which was had a bit more action. Yeah. And I imagine many people will be doing that. You'll have CGI on one screen, you'll have ADCC on another. More buzz, more one match isn't particularly exciting.
Yeah.
Go over to the other. I think it'll be a better experience for the.
Yeah, I think it's a cool time to be a jiu-jitsu athlete. I think it's a good time for us all. I think it's just made then, like Mo and ADCC elevate the game. I know he's going to be coming out like 100% trying to make this the sickest show ever. Like I know for a fact he's going to be like that. And then obviously on the other end, Craig's doing the same thing, and it's just gonna make a buzz. I think the fans are winning really who are in Vegas as well, who can be there live. I think it's going to be sick. Both events are going to be great. I think they're both going to be very memorable, you
know. Earlier when we were rolling, we were talking about the weight. You're saying you walk around 86.
Yeah.
Talk to me a bit about that. We talked about, obviously, it's no secret, steroids in jiu-jitsu. You said you're taking the clean approach.
Yeah.
Do you mind speaking about that?
No.
Yeah, so what's the thinking behind that when, obviously, I'd say the majority of athletes out there are taking steroids, are juicing, they're able to be stronger, be bigger.
Yeah.
And now with the same day before weigh-ins, like we said, that allows them to be able to do the big weight cuts and not have that be a detriment to them because they've got more time to replenish, rejuvenate.
Yeah.
What's your thoughts around that? What's your decision in staying clean?
I definitely did think about it. Like I definitely was like, right, that's it now. Let's hit it hard. Let's just go, like do everything I can. And my lifting coach Charles, that actually taught me out of it. So it's not worth it for your health. Let's try and just get you as strong as you can. Let's just try and be the best athlete you can, and let's not do it, you know. And I was like, okay, fair enough.
So that was from like a general health perspective.
Yeah, and I do understand. And when I thought about it more, I was like, perspective changes in time. Do you know what I mean? Like right now, ADCC means everything to me. But in 10, 15, 20 years, it won't mean anything to me in that same way. You know, I'll probably have a family by then. I want to live long. You know, I want to have a long life. I don't want to ever damage my health or something like that. Over time, like perspective will change, won't it? So you just see things completely differently. You know, so I don't think it's worth it, really. It's definitely going to damage your health. Even if you do it properly, it can still damage your health. I want to have a long life, man. I'd rather just do it. And I'd rather know that if I do well or don't do well, it's all on me. It's my fault. It's because of me. It's all me. Nothing's going to taint that, you know. If I beat someone, it's not because of juice, you know. It's just me, just technique and hard training, that's it.
Yeah, I mean, I said it before, big respect to you for that. Because obviously it's not an easy decision to make when you know.
No, of course not. I did think about it. It's not like I've just been like so against it. I was thinking, fuck, I'm just going to do it now.
Yeah.
Because they're all doing it. But then he did too, talk me out of it. And then I thought about it and I was like, oh, yeah, fair enough. I shouldn't do it.
In terms of where your weight sits then and with the day before weigh-ins, do you tend to see that as an advantage or something, not a disadvantage per se, but something that you're going to win almost in spite of that? Do you think it's one way or
What,
another?
the juice or the weight?
The weight.
The weights or weight?
The weight. Sorry. So as in you not being as heavy as other people.
Oh no, man! I think I was hoping that they would do day of weigh-ins like they always done before, because then I was thinking, right, they're going to be juiced up, they're going to be stronger than me, but at least they won't be heavier than me. Yeah. But now it's day before weigh-ins, and Mo put in the chat, was like, who wants IVs then? And everyone's like, yeah, man, me. And I'm like, fuck, they're going to be huge, man, I reckon. So they're definitely going to be stronger than me, definitely going to be bigger than me, but just have to be more technical, won't I? So it's definitely a disadvantage to me, but fuck it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fellow Brits at ADCC, Owen Jones, Ash Williams, Neil Blackman. What are your thoughts on them and their divisions? How do you see them doing?
Well, Ash it's his second time doing it. I think he can do well. So good style for ADCC. Hard to beat him. Good wrestling. So good cardio. So kind of got like he qualified for ADCC a little while ago, didn't he? Was it not the last trials, but the years before? The years
before, and then he got invited this time.
Yeah. So he has he's done it before. He's experienced it before, which I think is a good advantage. That's good for him coming in. He's more experienced. I think every time you see a lot of the people who've done well at ADCC, not many of them did well on their first time. Like even Craig Jones, I remember when he first qualified, it was a purple belt. He lost to Romulo Bahal first round, got Kimura, got his guard pass and got Kimura. But then after that, you could see he got better and started improving, and then he became one of the biggest stars of ADCC. So I think the more times you do it, the more times you can get your feet wet in there, you're going to just do better every time. I think Owen can do very, very well. He's like a dark horse, and he really just a cocky kid who's extremely good. Who maybe people they'll know of him for sure, but they never would have trained with him, probably never seen him with the big comps against some top people. He's fought some top people before. I know he's fought Fabricio Andre before. He's fought Ash before, obviously. He's trained at B Team, and he gets better every week, so he can do really well. And I know Nia Blackman's very good. I'm not too clued up on the women's division, to be honest. I wouldn't know who's in there, but I know she's really good. I know she's always been good since she was a kid. I always remember seeing her competing and stuff. So I definitely think she can do well.
Just a couple of questions to close on. First of all, obviously, like you said, winning trials, even though it was kind of like you turned your focus to it later on, really it was always like the goal in the sense that you wanted to compete at the highest level, win at the highest level, take it as far as you can. Jiu-jitsu, more and more people are coming into it now, and more and more people are taking it seriously. What advice do you have for the people now starting out or in their blue belt, purple belt years that are looking towards where you are, looking towards where Owen Jones is? What's your advice for them on what they should be doing to get to this position? If they want to win trials, what should they be doing and focusing on?
Okay, take yourself out your bubble. I think that's one of the biggest things I did. You can be sick in your home gym, you can be really good, you can be even good in the UK, and that's not enough. You have to, I think it's important for you to travel. I did a lot of traveling to the US when I was younger, just getting exposed to high level people and just being around them and seeing it. And I think that's a big thing what people can do. Just if you're dominating everyone where you're training, I think you should just try to cross train a lot. I think that's a good thing. When I was younger, that wasn't a thing. People didn't cross train. You weren't really allowed to do it. It wasn't a thing anywhere. It's kind of like a new thing now that everyone just cross trains, and that's why everyone's getting so much better quicker. I think taking full advantage of that. Just be disciplined. No, it's a long game. I've done it for 13 years, full time, barely had any injuries or time off, barely. And it's happening. Everything's happening now, but it's like I could have easily given up after 8 years and been like, oh, fuck it, I'll just teach, or I'm not going to keep pursuing, competing to a high level. I could have got my gym and just thought, oh, fuck it, I'll just chill, but I didn't. You have to keep pursuing. If you can constantly improve, and every 6 months look at yourself and say, I've improved again. If you can keep making the right decisions and keep doing that, there's only so long you can do that for before you crack into the top level. Because you're going to if you keep progressing, there'll be a point where you reach that level. You will. If you start to plateau, you need to figure out why you're plateauing, be honest with yourself, make the necessary decisions to get better, and keep that improvement over time. Not everyone's talented like Owen. Owen got really good really quick. He's very talented. Most people are not like that. I'm not like that. like 95% of people aren't like that. He's like a 5%er, you know. He's just naturally gifted kid, you know. He gets really good really quickly, has a brain for it. His body moves well, and he's just sick right away, you know. Like right when he started, he's just elite. But most people aren't like that. If you're not like that, you just have to then take the long approach. You have to be willing to do that. You have to be able to stay disciplined for that long period of time and be okay with it maybe not working out. But if you can fully dedicate yourself long enough, stay injury free, stay on that path, anyone can do it. But you have to just be willing to sacrifice that amount of time.
And very cliche, corny question to finish. And obviously we really know the answer, but to hear it in your own words, what will it mean to you to win ADCC Worlds?
Yeah, it'd be like an achievement of a lifetime, wouldn't it? It'd be like it's like my Everest. Yeah, it'd be there. Couldn't top it really.
I think that's a great way to put it. The Everest of grappling.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Tyler, thank you for sitting down, mate. All the best.
Cheers,
for the next few weeks and for ADCC.
Thank you, mate. Appreciate it, man. Thanks.